from these small halls by ChatGPT. In narrow halls where whispers grew, we found our voices strong and true. The lockers clanged, the bleachers cheered, we faced our fears, and dreams appeared. The class is small, the faces known, a second home, a world our own. We knew the names, the quirks, the tales, the laughter shared, and winding trails. Each lesson taught, both kind and true, prepared us when the road got rough. From quiet desk to chalk-stained boards, we gathered more than just awards. The teachers saw us, not just grades. They lit the fire that never fades. They cheered us on, they knew our names. In their belief, we found our flames. Now tassels turn and caps will fly. We pause beneath a bittersweet sky. The world beyond is wide and grand, but we were shaped by this small land. So here's to halls that watched us grow, to all the friends we'll always know. Though we depart, we're not apart. This little school still holds our heart.
Good evening and welcome, family, friends, and graduates. My name is Sarah Burrows, and I'm the president of the class of 2025. As I first wrote this speech, I was overcome with all of the memories of my fellow graduates and our time together. While it was hard to sum up 12 years into 3 pages, bear with me as we recall what brought us here today. As our school experience began, more than a few tears were shed as we adjusted to the big world, equipped with new friends, goals, and hobbies. With many experiences familiar to those before us, our class never failed to make an impact entirely our own, starting off with the epic, life-threatening Jell-O eating competition of 2011. Moving forward to first grade, we were introduced to Mr. Yoder's keep it there, keep it there, keep it there, relax, as well as his unmatched shoe tie job that wouldn't come undone for weeks and left your feet feeling, well, nothing. By second grade, we began to tackle the more sophisticated parts of life, like learning cursive, which probably needs a refresher, especially when our teachers reviewed our turned-in permission slips. The next 2 years flew by in a blur. As we took over a new hallway, we felt a sense of maturity beginning to form, as well as a deep hatred for standardized testing. Gym class no longer remained about the fun games of Are You Hungry, Cookie Monster or Tiger Hunt, but instead the sit and reach and the mile, where we counted Got You, Johnny, 6 going on 7. In fourth grade, the world revolved around the Battle of Gettysburg, as we spent our days reenacting those battles, running up and down that big hill beside the elementary school. The years of 5th and 6th grade marked the beginning of being upperclassmen and what we thought at the time was our peak. The silent ball games were always intense, especially with Garrett pulling the old snake eye throw where he'd sneakily look one way and then chuck the ball at someone else right next to him. At recess, nonstop foursquare and football with Mr. Ickes consumed our days. As the year wound to an end, we started to experience our first sets of lasts. Our last first day of elementary school, our last citizenship day, and finally, our 6th grade graduation, giving us a small taste of what was to come today. The jump from 6th to 7th grade was both exciting and terrifying. Finally at a new place, with older people, less rules, and more expectations, the possibilities seemed endless. With 7th grade came more independence, new friends who moved here, the instilled principle of always carrying a red pen, and the continuation of series with Mr. Ickes as he followed us up to the high school. But with our newfound freedom came equivalent responsibilities of being held accountable for being late, something we all still struggle with. Just ask Miss Anita to show you the sign-in sheet. By the 3rd marking period, we grew to understand the new hierarchy, that when upperclassmen were walking, you got out of the way. We were just getting ready to end our first year with spring sports and the Lion King musical when, well, you all know what happened next. As that week turned to months, we, with the help of our caring teachers and staff, navigated the complicated world of online school. Given a Chromebook, a dream, and a hotspot that never worked, we pushed through until we were able to be face-to-face again every other week, 6 feet apart. Though it wasn't always fun or easy, we look back now and laugh at the times when Brady Shiflett took out half the class through contact tracing. Besides hybrid learning, Mrs. Barton's favorite app, TikTok, influenced many of our classmates to turn to the world of viral dancing, sometimes even in the middle of class. The only thing that evoked the same emotion was the mullet mania that overtook our grade and school. During this year, many lived by the statement, business in the front, party in the back. And I think it was safe to say that most were thrilled when that party was finally over. 9th grade called for big changes. We were no longer those little kids who walked the halls in fear, but we still knew we weren't top of the Indian totem pole either. However, as we could now try out for the JV and varsity sports we'd always looked up to, and join various groups like FFA and Interact, the hype of high school was finally here. With new classes that we grew to love, like Mr. Smart's Intro to Law class, kids such as Gabe Hand really began to express themselves and gain, what would you call it, Gabe? Debating skills? Other students like Braden Stepanek sought to put their culinary skills to the test, making exotic fruit smoothies using nothing but a blender brought from home and an outlet in the wood shop. The following year continued with much of the same. Having two sciences fill our sophomore year, biology introduced some pant-splitting experiments, while our grades call to chemistry came a little late. If you don't understand, just go see the makeshift plaque of dozens of wooden late passes from Mr. Fisher's room hanging in Mr. Mackenzie's wall. By junior year, our grades started to figure out that high school wasn't forever, and thus began planning the rest of our lives. We no longer took classes just because our friends were in them, and instead focused on what we would actually need for the future. Sadly, this often separated us, but when it mattered most, we always came together. As we approached the ever-anticipated School Spirit Week last year, our class's unity and competitive edge brought us the win. By playing to our grade strengths, we utilized everyone's talents, like Kylie's unbelievable art skills that drew our winning banner, to our dominating human pyramid, an undeniable force that should have won again this year, if there weren't for some questionable refereeing. Marked by the 6 months following our Sweet 16s, members of our class began getting their licenses one by one. However, with this newly discovered freedom came the phrase, "Hey, I hit something with my car, again." Though we all are beyond grateful for the safety of each of our classmates, I'm positive that our families are beginning to wonder how we even got our licenses in the first place, especially with performances from The Green Machine and our collective largest enemy, the high school parking lot, where many collisions, burnouts, and jump starts ended our school days. Towards the end of the year, the reality that it was almost over was fully sinking in. By cherishing our time together and listening to preparatory assemblies, we left for the summer with a plan for the returning months and our eyes on the prize of graduating and paying off our lunch debt. Then somehow, somewhere, it arrived. This was it, senior year. Feeling younger than how we imagined we would be, nostalgia quickly taught us to soak up every moment, every game, every banter with friends, and every chicken mashed potato bowl. With the excitement of fall sports and entering the school this past August, nothing quite held the same effect as the magic words known as work release. With this special little idea, about 99.99% of our class left after fifth period. Though it at times felt like some classmates had already graduated, Malak Company always helped us to spend quality time together and understand the importance of having a plan B. Amidst the sports season, the traditional Ocean City trip became a highlight of our senior year. Spending our nights walking the boardwalk, or running, I should say, to get back by curfew, some bought mini skateboards to keep up with Ashlyn as she zoomed down the boardwalk. Others decided to explore little by little, or take side trips with Miss Sherry to go mini golfing. After Ocean City, the time between Halloween and Christmas vanished in the blink of an eye. While we sadly had to cancel the Halloween dance, the sparkling night of homecoming soon followed, as did the very serious boys versus girls volleyball game that still has Garrett saying he's one of the best boys volleyball players ever, though Miss Dickerhoff might disagree. On the last day before winter break, the entire school competed in the annual Southern Fulton Reindeer Games, and once again, the seniors came out on top. Still wondering though, whatever did happen to that ice cream prize we were promised, Miss Ritz, wherever she's at? Illuminated by the year 2025, the surrealness of our last semester of high school engrossed us. Trying to get in as much gym class volleyball as possible, we all watched as Braden Melton achieved LeBron-level height when spiking the ball, Jet and Leland as they served what they called a serious heat, and Lane carrying teams when they were split unfairly. If any of you ever saw a senior walking around town wearing goggles, it was because we played a game unaffiliated with the school known as Senior Splashin', where each player was assigned a target that they had to get out in public using a water gun. Though most believe in the saying, all's fair in love and war, that belief was drastically destroyed for Isaac, as was his friendship, when his best friend Miles conspired with Mark to get him out. We only hope that one day Isaac can find it in his heart to forgive Miles and that their relationship can be restored. The final month of May called for all the things we heard about growing up. From our last prom to our decision day barbecue and our senior prank of selling the school, the realness of our situation slapped us harder than we could have ever imagined. As we gathered in the parking lot exactly 1 week ago today to come together and create one last memory, everyone pitched in to have a delicious breakfast as Gage and Peck manned the grills. Though during these last 180 days, we often battled on Clash Royale or against the grapes of wrath in the cafeteria, the greatest battle was against the realization of leaving here and the fear of the unknown as we came closer and closer to finally graduating. Covering those fears with tired statements of, "Oh, I'm so ready to graduate." Now, in a real way, here we are. A lot has changed since that very first day, and a lot hasn't. While our graduating class decreased by almost half, our lively spirit was never diminished by our dwindling numbers. As the years went by, that same spirit gained us our closest friendships, the most heartwarming memories, and the greatest of experiences. Over time, these memories shaped how we grew up and became a part of who we are, following us into our adult lives. However, the truth is, the most important memories aren't the big things that we all remember, but instead, the little ones woven into our regular days. It was in the exchanged looks behind a teacher's back, it's in the inside jokes spread over years of backstory, and it's in the things I can't bring up into this speech for legal purposes. They are embedded into our aspirations, but more importantly, they serve as constellations in the sky of our lives, always shining brightly and always leading us home. Now, I should probably stop talking soon, or else they're going to throw their caps at me, but before I go, I would like to leave you all with one last piece of advice. Whenever you're lost, always go east with the snails. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Family, friends, teachers, staff, and most importantly, the class of 2025. It's an incredible honor to stand before you today as the valedictorian of our class. As I look out over this crowd, I see the teammates, mentors, family, and lifelong friends who have helped me get here. I see a community that has shaped who I am in ways I never could have imagined whenever I first arrived here. Because, for those who don't know, I didn't always live in southern Fulton. I grew up in Shippensburg, a town in a county with more people than they did cows. In 7th grade, though, my family moved to Needmore. And, like many kids that age, I was nervous, unsure, and honestly kind of out of place. I wasn't from around here. I didn't know the local names, the inside jokes, or the Fulton County way of life. But what I quickly learned is that Fulton County, and especially southern Fulton, is a place like no other. It didn't matter that I wasn't from here. What mattered is that this community made room for me. It welcomed me with open arms and open hearts, and over the past 6 years, this small town has become my home. Not just because I now live here, but because the community and the class of 2025 welcomed me into it. To my teachers, thank you. You taught us more than just curriculum. You taught us how to think for ourselves, how to be accountable, and how to care. Thank you for always seeing the potential in us, even when we didn't see it in ourselves. Thank you for putting up with us even on the days that we didn't deserve it. To my friends, many of whom are members of the class of 2025 behind me, thank you for changing my life. You welcomed me when you didn't have to. You encouraged me to step outside of my comfort zone and try things I never saw myself doing. Because of you guys, I discovered a passion for sports, soccer, cross country, and track. I never imagined myself loving to show up to practice and sweat and run out of breath with a whole team feeling the same way by my side. But now, I can't imagine high school without those memories. I can't imagine high school without you all. One of the most meaningful memories of this past year happened during our senior trip to Ocean City. A group of us were walking to go mini golfing with Miss Sherry, whom most of you know but unfortunately could not be here today. And we were telling stories and listening to the stories that Sherry was telling us. Then, Miss Sherry looked at me, and she said something that has stuck with me ever since. She said, "You know, your class is different. There's something special about you guys. You all get along with each other, even though you don't like each other. You respect each other, and not every class is like that." That hit me, because she was right. In that moment, I reflected on just how far our class had come together. How many of us grew up beside each other, supported each other through our victories and failures, and managed to stay kind and connected despite our differences. And in today's world, where division is being felt much louder than unity, what our class has, is rare. Our class has shown that it's possible to be kind but also strong, competitive but also compassionate, unique but still united. That's not something that we should take for granted. It's something we should carry with us into every corner of the world that we split up into. Because whether we're heading off to college, entering the workforce, joining the military, or taking a gap year to find our path, we are taking with us the values this community has instilled in us: kindness, respect, hard work, and welcoming hearts. To my family, thank you for your endless support. And to my coaches, thank you for showing me what I'm capable of and pushing me not just to become a better athlete, but a better individual. And to the families of the class of 2025, thank you for showing me what true community looks like. Class of 2025, we did it. But more importantly, we did it together. And as we go our separate ways, my hope is that we never lose the part of us that was built here, the part that knows how to welcome others, the part that knows how to do hard work and how to be kind, the part that knows how to be a good group of people. Congratulations, class of 2025. Thank you.
Good evening, families, friends, faculty, and most importantly, our graduating seniors. Before we begin, I would like to recognize some recent achievements that has happened right here at Southern Fulton. You know, we have some awesome athletes in amongst the senior class, and a few, have earned some distinction. And I think I would like to recognize them at this point. I didn't know if anybody knew, that Southern Fulton boys baseball team actually won the District 5 championship. Has anybody heard that? Monday is their playoff game here at Southern Fulton and their first round of the state playoffs. So if you can come out to that game, I guarantee you, that baseball team will be excited to see you and cheer them on. Also impressive, did you know, that Southern Fulton actually had a trap team? Did you know that? If you hadn't, we certainly do, and I just want to let you know, that they are District 5 Conference 5 champions, and they move on to states on Sunday. So those people, we have some trap shooters, right here in the senior class. I know some out there. They're moving on, to the state championship, and they've won Conference 5, here at Southern Fulton too, I think they deserve a round of applause. I'm not sure, if you were, are track and field fans, I know that I certainly am. We had 3 District 5 champions, that brought home a gold medal. One of them, is sitting up here in this senior class. So they, just last week, they moved on, those 3 gold medalists moved on to the state championship, and did an outstanding job there as well. I think those 3, one standing right up here, deserve a round of applause for that as well. Just so you know, about the baseball team, the trap team, and Miles Bard. If you would all stand up, that are a part of those teams, that are moving on or have moved on, please stand up. I'd appreciate it. Quite an athletic group, and we wish you the best of luck at baseball and trap. Today's a celebration of hard work, determination, growth, and countless memories you've all made along the way. Today marks the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. Graduates, you started high school as wide-eyed 7th graders, some excited, some nervous, and most of you probably wondering how you'd ever find your way from one class to the next down these halls. But here you are, standing at the finish line. Not only have you found your way, but you've grown into confident, capable young adults ready to pursue whatever life throws at you. Over the past 4 years, you've experienced late nights, early mornings, deadlines, dances, friendships, heartbreaks, and victories, both big and small. You've learned equations, written essays, solved problems, and maybe even found out a little bit more about who you were and what really matters to you. But perhaps the most important lessons you've learned weren't in those textbooks. They were the moments that you pushed through challenges, You supported a friend, stood up for what was right, or simply kept going when things got hard. Those are the lessons that you will carry further than any test scores or any GPA. As you leave this place, please remember success isn't about what you achieve. It's about how you treat others. It's about the character you carry, the courage you show, the kindness that you give. Whether you're headed to college, the workforce, the military, or exploring what comes next, do it with purpose, and please do it with passion. You are the future, and that's not just a cliche. You are our innovators, our leaders, our caretakers, our dreamers, our teachers, our CEOs. The world truly needs your ideas, your voices, and especially your heart. So as you turn those tassels in just a bit, please remember this. You've already done and you've already proven that you can do the hard things. Now it's time for you to go and do the great things. For you, the parents, grandparents, family, friends, teachers who have seen this group grow, you've probably right now, looking up here, okay, and you're wondering, where did all that time go? As we get older, it's amazing how fast time seems to slip away. You, I know, are extremely proud of this crew, the class of 2025. They have achieved much. On Wednesday, our seniors had their awards and scholarship presentation ceremony. Many of you were here. At that ceremony, these seniors before you raked in quite a large sum of monetary contributions towards their future endeavors, from community businesses, civic organizations, and scholarship funds to which they have applied. Now, I'd like everybody to kind of hold on to your seat, because this class is only 39 people sitting up here. A total amount, okay, of those contributions, those monetary funds, those scholarships, accrued and totaled, amounted to $532,689. That is over $500,000, okay, that has been generated in just a few students. I certainly believe that needed to be applauded. Now, as we reminisce of all the things that these young men and women have done and the awards that they've earned, I would like to share with you, the families and friends, a brief snapshot of where this group is headed beyond their time here at Southern Fulton. Those furthering their education by attending and striving towards a degree at a four-year college or university, I'd like for you to stand and please be recognized. Those attending and pursuing a two-year degree or attending or entering a certificate program of study at an institution of higher education, I would ask that you please stand and be recognized. Those directly entering the workforce and immediately adding to the coffers of Social Security for old folks like me, I would ask that you please stand and be recognized. And finally, and certainly not the least, to those whom have enlisted and plan on defending our great country in the most honorable and noble way by entering our nation's armed forces, I'd ask that you please stand and be recognized. It is at this time I would like to call to the stage Mr. Patrick Bard, President of the Southern Fulton School Board, and Ms. Meredith Hendershot, Superintendent of Southern Fulton School District, to prepare for the distribution and the presentation of the diplomas. I would ask that the audience please hold their applauses until all the diplomas have been distributed, the tassels have been moved, and I have declared these seniors, your seniors, graduated. Braden Russell Peck. Paige Elizabeth Risbin. Thomas Matthew Paul Swope. Kylie Leanne Russell. Leland Lane Fox. Anea Hope Furong Ritz. Hannah Marie Wolf. Isaac Wade Pittman. Kerrigan Joy Heil. Hunter Lee Bowman. Abigail Lane Smith. Dylan Edmund Doucette. Sarah Catherine Burrows. Joel Hunter Fitz. Morgan Page Hickson. Caden Thomas Hickson. Josefina Afira Limon Aloe. Charles Randall Kirshner. Haley Marie Shaw. Benjamin Andrew Morgan. Ashlyn Joy Baker. Mark Abram Fitz. Reagan Lynn Hickson. Daniel Adam Paul. Tori Lee Crow. Lane Mitchell Roth. Miles Anderson Carter Bard. Braden Thomas Melton. Gabriel Lucas Han. Blaine David Fisher. Garrett Michael Price. Braden William Stepanek. Elliot Stephen Pindell. Carter Joseph Sears. Brady Ryan Shiflett. Jet Reed Berger. Cody Ryan Payne. Caden Andrew Schriever. Gage Dean Kiefer. Ms. Heddershot, Mr. Bard, it is my privilege to certify that these students listed in the program tonight have satisfactorily completed the requirements for the secondary school diploma as outlined by the Pennsylvania Department of Education and the Board of Directors of the Southern Fulton School District in accordance with the standards established by the Secretary of Education and the State Board of Education. Graduates, you may now move your tassels from right to left. Ms. Hendershot, Mr. Bard, board members, faculty, staff, family, and friends, I am honored to present to you the graduating class of 2025.
Dreams by Kim Erickson. You're the driver of your destiny, passenger of none, in control and looking forward of things that must be done. You're the captain of your ship, destination unknown, plans to help you get there and freedom to bring you home. You're the pilot of your airplane, fly as high as you can. Life is what you make it, so follow your plan. Hopes and dreams not yet reached, motivation on display. A journey full of ups and downs, experience gained each day. And direction is always forward, backwards remains the same. Discover your authentic self and a willingness to change. Enhance each quality given, develop talents you were blessed. Transform your heart into one of gold, and believe in more than yourself. Mistakes are made, we move on. We get back on our feet. I'm here to support you always, should you ever need me. For every start, there is a finish. For every beginning, there is an end. Hold on to your accomplishments and even tighter to your friends. Thank you.